Let it be, let it be, oh, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be. Hey, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom.
That may be one of the hardest things to do. It's a wonderful song. I've recorded it, I sing it, and John Lennon wrote it. How do we let it be? Especially if being is bothersome or worrisome or something that causes discontent. There are situations in our lives that really should be left alone. And you trade off letting it be for peace, if you can let it be and still have peace. The whole idea of peace is a kind of imaginary fantasy. We all believe in it, and we believe for it. We believe in its possibility, but we're logical enough to know that it's not probable as far as absolute absence of conflict or tension or stress. Another word for peace is toleration, just being tolerant. Just sitting in these pews. A toe is aching, a corn is aching, a neck is aching, an elbow is aching. Something about you is bothered. You might not even like who you're sitting next to. Or you're thinking of where else you could be besides here, or what you're gonna do between now and 4. Or when am I gonna get through? And I've barely gotten started. We are so comfortable with discomfort, we don't know that it's discomfort. Because discomfort is so common. And so is peace, or a peace. We always say, I want a peace. Is there peace that goes beyond understanding, or is there peace that just doesn't make any sense? It's kind of what that is. I was thinking about this morning coming, the whole idea of legitimacy. What is legitimacy? What's fair or unfair? Legitimacy is conforming to the law or to rules. That's the laws of nature, the laws of nation, your country, the laws. They're human laws, they're spiritual laws, they're psychological laws. Do these laws make sense? Or are they a reality, or do they make sense as a reality in your reality? Because peace is personal. We'd like for it to be global. I'm pulling for it, pushing for it, trying to see what's the most efficient way to use this last half of my life. The first half of my life was about preaching and evangelizing and building a church and building people and keeping people focused on God and faith in Jesus and the blood and the cross and Calvary and the second coming, and helping my religious fundamentalists, all of which I still have respect for that, but I'm beyond that mentality exclusively, and now I'm spread to just global peace, helping people find peace in themselves, because most of the people I was working with already were into religion and faith in God and scripture and prayer and fasting, and none of them had peace. Y'all don't have it either. So everybody trying to get, I was thinking, I don't have that much peace. Were you fooling yourself? So can this be, or the thing is, what am I doing here? We ask ourselves, am I legitimately here? Can it be explained or defended or validated, affirmed with logic or justification? Why is this particular situation occurring in my life? Is it legitimately here? Am I imagining that it's here? Isn't it an illusion? Am I really happy? Am I really unhappy? Or am I completely happy or completely unhappy? And there are no absolutes when it comes to that kind of experience. They're all fantasies and ideologies. And we dance with them and play with them, and we manipulate them and navigate them and negotiate them. And we think we are having peace, or a piece, a little of it here and there, or And I guess we're comfortable with it. I've been making a lot of comments, posting about stuff. You've heard the statement, what you fight, you ignite. What you fight, you incite. What you invite, you invite or invoke. And when should you confront something? When should you give up your peace and confront something or combat something? Or do you not have peace if you don't confront or combat? Do you lose sleep or do you experience anxiety if you're not confrontive? It's something in your house, in your family, with a relationship, with a friendship, with somebody you know. What are you confronting about yourself? Do you have more peace dealing with it or more peace not dealing with it? You are the only one who can make that choice. Shall I confront my child or my sibling or my parent or my employee or my employer? Shall I get out in March and protest stuff I don't like? Shall I join some social activist club? Or shall I be quiet? Am I vexed at night? Am I experiencing anxiety over something that has been in my life a long time, like a pain that you have never had clinically checked? You've had that same pain. You can ask somebody, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing pretty good, but I got this pain, this hurting. And you want to say, well, how long has it been there? Been there for years. Or you say, well, it just happens. It comes and goes. It's not always there. I don't even know what triggers it. I just woke up this morning with my mind. That's an old song. Stayed on you. So you can get comfortable with pain, and after a while you adjust to it, and you don't know that it's even hurting. Or you don't know that you're hurting somebody, and you live with them. Or you birthed them into the world, or you were birthed as a sibling of them. And here it is 40, 50 years since, and you're still hurting the same way for some of the same reasons, or you're hurting people the same way and for the same reasons. And you tolerate it, and that's where your peace is, in the toleration. Until it becomes intolerant, it's less peaceful to tolerate it than it is to confront it. I'm told that you can touch somebody like this very lightly on the shoulder all night long, just like that. That light could become a nuisance, but it doesn't really hurt. And then 24 hours later, you might not even be able to move that arm. You have bruised it so much. Because every time you hit it, you break little capillaries, little blood vessels, and it becomes a bruise. Some of you have been going through something so long, it wasn't a slap, it wasn't a shock, it wasn't jolting pain, but after all these years, now you can't hardly move your heart to love or to forgive, or your vision or perception. You can't shift it any longer. You're at a standstill, and you gotta confront it. And you have to lay peace aside for a minute and get another kind of peace that makes you get a peace or deal with something. We all vacillate through this wonderful fantasy, this wonderful, and I think peace is first interrupted when we are for 9 months floating in our mother's amniotic fluids, which are protective liquids that doesn't necessitate oxygen. And you've been there for 9 months developing little fingers, nails, and toes, and earlobes and nose. And then one day you hear sounds and noise and grunts and maybe even screams, and you hear voices, a bunch of them, a nurse or a few nurses or a doctor or a mother or a father or some siblings, and all this sound, and all of a sudden the water's sloshing around, most of which by that time at 9 months, it's mostly your urine. It starts out as just water that becomes urine. And then you're racing down this birth canal into all this light. The surgeries, the ER room, or what do you call it, the surgery room, the bright light is on, the doctor's there, and you pop out into this world, and you have never breathed before. And if you don't, they patch on the bottom. So you breathe in, your lungs become active, and then you start sucking water out of you and out of your nose, and you start flailing, and you might start protesting. And you've been doing that all since. Suffering post-traumatic syndrome. What is it? Post-traumatic stress syndrome or something. And so we're all going through post-trauma. The Greek word for trauma is wound. So we are wounded entities. From the womb, we come here wounded. And we feel the pain or the anxiety or the thrill or it's like riding a roller coaster, and I love them. They're fun. The latest one we wrote, it was in California. Majesty loves scary stuff. She loves heights, and she's extreme, and she likes to live on the edge, and she does. And Julian and my wife Gina are less inclined to scary stuff. Majesty likes scary stuff. She's not only risky, she's sometimes reckless. And so we try to help her. But we move out because we are daring to confront peace with a little bit of anxiety. Some people live off the adrenaline of anxiety. If it's too much peace, you get really bored, and you'll create crisis just because you're an adrenaline junkie. Sometimes I'm like that, and I enjoy it, but then it gets reckless. So what makes sense? Can this be, or can I be explained, defended, validated? Why did I come here, and am I over the trauma of actually being born into this dimension? And I come out, as I told you earlier, you come out 80% water. You've been swimming in it or floating in it for 9 months. Your brain remains 80% water. As you'll grow an adult, you become between 50 and 60% water. 100,000 miles of arteries and veins, and they're coursing and vamping water, salt water, or blood through you all the time. And you're always in motion. Anything in motion causes friction. That's the law of physics. And so with the friction, you lose a little bit of the peace, but the friction is there to give you traction for forward thrust. If it's never any situation that causes traction, you're just spinning your wheels. It takes effort and traction and friction to exist, to move through the universe, to move through life, to become whoever you're becoming. Water, liquor, in the Latin for the waters or water that you're born in, it's called liquor amnesia. So that's why y'all like all that liquor, because you floated in it for the first 9 months. Christmas is not so much about a Prince of Peace, as I said last week, but a principle of peace, a standard, a resolution. A principle is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a system of belief, or for some behavior, or a chain of reasoning. A principle of peace. If you just say that, if you're just celebrating a prince, a person, a supreme being, you have a lot of anxiety around that being, because that being is not running the universe the way you think it should be run. That's why you protest or get upset. You say to God, if you believe in a personal God, God, what God? What the God? Why, God? I'm a good person. I want to do good. Help me do it. Or is there some other standards there? Are there some other proprieties to it, or properties to this whole idea of faith and peace? Resolve. I see the word peace is not meaning the absence of conflict or of fear or fraction or attraction, but it's calm in the midst of all that, which emphasizes a bit of toleration and a little bit of celebration. I'm calm about it. I am non-reactionary to it. I will not react. I will not revolt. I will not it's called acquiescence. It's from a French word. Acquiescence means that you're quiet rather than confrontational in the midst of an unpleasant situation. I yield to it. I just acquiesce. I'm going to be calm. Okay, let me count to 10. I'm going to be calm. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to cry. I ain't going to fight. Somebody get me a glass of something. How do you get a hold of yourself? People who have anger management problems. Something that the traditional God of the Bible seems to have. That God really gets freaked out and throws these tantrums and tsunamis and earthquakes and volcanoes and cancer and AIDS, and you don't know how you're going to and when you're going to tick that God off. And so most of humanity that believes in that God is always tense about displeasing that God, pleasing a God that's difficult to please, or appeasing a God who is easily angered. What if you have very delicate skin, a very delicate appetite? What if you have a lot of allergies, and you have to be careful what you eat, and you have to be careful what you put on your body? What if you have a resistance to fragrances and odors? I was in somewhere this summer at a convention. Oh, I was in Toronto at the World Parliament of Religions, and we came in a few minutes late. We just rushed out of the shower, got late, and we rushed to the place, but sometimes I wear too much cologne, so there was a lady in front of me, and she turned back and she looked at me and she said, do you have cologne? I said, yes. Is that bothersome? She said, it's okay, and they got up and left. It hurt my feelings so bad. I said, I wore this, lady, so you could enjoy the odor. Consider the alternative. Now, everybody else was fine. Some people said, boy, that was wonderful. What are you wearing? I get that a lot. Some people say, oh my God, he's wearing too much. And I always say when I feel it, what if I wasn't wearing enough? Why don't you put some on? You dance back and forth, but you mean well, you want peace, you want to distribute peace and share peace, you prepare a meal, you fix your house so folks are comfortable, you fix it so you're comfortable with it, then what? And somebody doesn't like your lights. Or your light. Somebody doesn't like your love. By peace, again, I don't mean the absence of conflict or trouble or fear, just calm, just quietness, just surrender to the flow, not just going with the flow, but growing with the flow, even when it becomes a flood. I learned my peace antics from my father. I never saw my father ever react. He was the eldest of 7 children. And he had parents that were sometimes difficult, and both of them were preachers, and then they, quote unquote, backslid and got involved in extramarital affairs, and they started doing all the things they taught them not to do. And Daddy tried to stay steady and keep his kids. He outlived all of his 6 siblings. The baby boy was the last one to transition exactly a month before Daddy. And I was reading a text when I got the word that my Uncle James had transitioned, and I said, oh, my Uncle James just died. And Daddy said, my baby brother? Daddy's on his deathbed. He said, my baby brother? I said, yes, Daddy, he's gone. He said, I remember him crawling across the wooden floor in the country. They lived in like a little log cabin in the country in Southern California. And he said he had a needle stuck in his leg. And my mom and dad were gone. He said, I got up, I went and found a pair of pliers. I pulled the needle out. Now, he said, my little brother wasn't even crying. He just walked over there. He crawled past me. I saw the needle, pulled the needle out. He never flinched and just crawled across the floor like it never happened. That was my dad's last memory of his baby brother. The next month, Daddy was gone. Any other time I'd mention his baby brother who had been in a nursing home for 11 years, Daddy would always cry. That day, he didn't cry. He had peace. I had gone to see that same uncle 1 month earlier when I was visiting my grandma, when I was attending my godmother's memorial service, her funeral. And I left the funeral, the cemetery, and went to see my uncle, whom I always go to see every time I go to San Diego. And he was in a nursing home, and I always go in there, and he normally recognizes me, even though he thought he'd been in there only 2 years. He'd been in there 11 years. That time I went in, and he had the most peaceful expression on his face, total stressless face, no crinkles, no wrinkles, no tension, no anxiety, just laying there peacefully sleeping. And I said, Uncle James, Uncle James, Uncle James. I shook him a little bit. He refused to wake up, so I just kissed him. I sat down beside him and thanked him. He was special to me. He was the only brother of my dad's brothers whose clothes I could fit. And I borrowed his stuff for my high school prom. I was mismatched, everything. My pants were so high water. The girl, you just said, your parents need to have a party and invite you. No, your friends need to have a party and invite your pants down, you know. I was the student body president. I had the worst looking tux on, but I borrowed something from him. I'd borrow shoes. And so I thanked him for all that. I brought up all that. I just sat there and cried and loved him, kissed him again, walked out, told the driver. I said, I don't think I'll ever see my uncle again. That'll be my last time. And it was. I said he had so much peace, I couldn't make myself wake him up. His wife had died, drug addicted, skin and bones, my Aunt Inez. All his children were gone except 2, and the one died the day he died, just a few hours before he died, Angela, in a hospital. And my cousin Valadia called me and said that my cousin Angela had died. She said, I'm going to tell Daddy. And by the time she got to the nursing home, just about 20-minute drive, he was already gone. Both of them had peace. And I said to Valadia, my cousin, I said, you know, I saw such peace on Uncle James's life. I'm glad he got to get out of here. He was so at peace. When he was awake, there was anxiety. He wanted to get out of there. He didn't know where he was. He got confused. He was disoriented. He was miserable. He was in a lot of pain. He was deteriorating every time I saw him. And he finally had peace. Did that take away my peace? Only a little piece of my peace. When I went to his memorial service and helped eulogize him, I felt a certain element of peace. Didn't realize Daddy was going the very next month. My godmother, my uncle, then my dad. And I found peace that made no sense. Did I cry? Yes. Do I miss him now? Yes. We were looking at videos 2 nights ago. Imagine I were looking at videos and Julian of when they were tiny and small and Christmas times and crawling around. And I was holding Madge and telling her, she was making little sounds. I was saying, sing, baby, sing to Papa. Papa, what did you know, baby, sing? I forgot I did all that. She said, Daddy, you was asking me to sing then. She was just kicking in, trying to sing, trying to respond. And we got tears in our eyes. We saw pictures of our dad and her granddad and my mom. And I started pulling all that together and wrapping myself in it and just sort of wearing it for a while. And every one of those relationships have cost me pain. But I love the pain because it was part of my love. Shake yourselves like this. Just say, oh, this all works together. Peace is crazy, but it's mine. It's mine because I say it's mine. I'm just talking about the practical aspects of this anxiety. One of these last 3 things I want you to remember about peace. First of all, you need to have, I just wrote this down this morning, a higher purpose, a reason for which you exist or something is done or created. A higher purpose. If you see a higher purpose, Viktor Frankl said, to live is to suffer, to survive is to find meaning in the suffering. It's to find a sign or assignment, find purpose in the suffering. You don't want useless pain. If your relationship costs you pain and the relationship is valuable to it, there's a reason for the pain. You just endure it. Talk to me, somebody. You don't like going to the job, but it pays well. You tolerate that you don't like about it because you get to spend some money. You may not like a certain room in the house or how the neighborhood of the house or how the house looks, but it's your house. You do find some comfort in there, and it's not the most peaceful or palatial place, but it's yours. And you make your own peace, create your own peace in that raggedy car or in that brand new car that doesn't run right or that brand new piece of equipment. You just bought the vacuum cleaner, and it's never functioned right, but you get a little cleansing out of it from time to time. Turn to somebody and say, I create my own peace. Higher peace, a purpose, higher plan, which is a higher intention, a course, a cause, an action, a purpose, an objective, a decision about what you're going to do. I have intentions in this purpose. I have a plan. And I also have a personal preponderance. There's a diagram out there. There's a structure. There's a drawing. There's a map, and I'm sticking to the map. I wrote the map, or I planned, or I put the diagram together. I have a purpose. Here's the plan. Then I am qualified to adhere to the plan and bring this thing off. That's my personal preponderance. That would be that third thing. Everybody say purpose, plan, personal preponderance. That means the quality of fact of being greater in number or quantity or importance. I got this because it's my assignment, and everything is assigned in my life. Everything that you're going through has a signal or a signature on it, an assignment in your life. So don't deem it as negative. See it as a part of the package of who you are, with all the pluralities and the multiplicities of the various levels and extremes and legitimacies or illegitimacies. I'm going to stop using the word illegitimate anymore because I think everything has a legal reason, a designated reason for being in my life. So I'm learning how to celebrate that which I used to denigrate and make it my friend, especially if it won't leave. Do this one more time and shift that energy around. This is peace that doesn't make sense. But then there's extrasensory perception. So I'm going to keep pulling for peace and loving its purpose in my life. Mom lives with us. She's 89. She's ours. I say she's sometimes the sweetest nuisance that a person can have is your mom. But she's ours. My kids surrendered to her. Mom still likes to be in control. She likes to feel significance. She likes to call the shots. But she's mom. I've had her 65 years. I had daddy 62 years. Mom won't always be around. Having a conversation with her the other day. We were talking. I said, Mom, we were a little tense. I said, look, Mom, you don't realize you took care of all 6 of us. I'm going to have to take care of you now. I want to take care of you. Relax, sweetheart. I love you. Besides, I'm not going to have you always. I said, you have 6 children. I only have 1 mom. You've got 6 of us. And you're going to go before. She said, no, I'm going to outlive all of you. I said, no, that ain't. We ain't even going to let you do that. You got to get out of here after a while. But she started brushing tears away, and I hugged her. I said, we're going to work this out, okay? I'm going to have to be in charge now. You got to listen to me, okay? I'm going to check on you. Sometimes I say, Mom, don't do that. She got upset because she had something in her room I didn't want in there, and it didn't belong, and it was clogging her, and you're always taking her stuff. I said, you ain't got that much stuff for somebody to take. But this, and then she starts laughing. Yeah, I can make my mom laugh, and she can make me cry. So God bless you, and keep going. Move that energy around one more time and say, I got this, I got this. It's peaceful because I make it peaceful. I love you. God bless you.
Have a great day.
We're so happy you're visiting with us online today. We love connecting with people all across the country and around the world, sharing our powerful message of love beyond belief.
There's something new happening here. You can now join All Souls as a virtual member. Our virtual membership is designed for friends who live outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and who want to engage with All Souls in a meaningful way.
You can be part of an expanding family, a global family really, wherever you are. If you live in Oklahoma,
Ohio,
or Orange County, California,
Canada,
or Cameroon. By becoming a virtual member, you'll be able to deepen your connections with members and friends here in Tulsa and with members wherever you are.
Each week, you'll receive special All Souls content tailored for you, our virtual members. Virtual members have access to pastoral care, to personal prayers, and also receive invitations to exclusive web events.
You can learn more, and if you're ready, you can become a virtual member today by visiting allsoulschurch.org/virtual membership.
We're grateful our ministries are having a positive impact on your life, and we want to share the good news of love beyond belief with more and more people. So no matter what, we need your support to keep this ministry growing and thriving, so please consider making a gift today. You can do so by texting
LOVEBB for Love Beyond Belief to 73256, or simply visit our website. You are a blessing in our lives. May you be blessed
and be a blessing.